I want to be there and baby dance the night.
5 common mistakes realtors make. Look, we're all human, and at the end of the day, people make mistakes. We're not perfect. But in real estate, a simple mistake could cost you a ton of money and potentially your reputation. So you want to avoid making any mistakes in general. Now let's get into the mistakes that most realtors make commonly. The first mistake, and I think one of the most common mistakes that realtors make, is not asking enough questions. You know, I know that you get excited in the moment of picking up a new buyer or seller client, but I think what's most important is understanding the client you're working with, understanding their needs, because these small details will help you along the way. I think if you ask more questions and understand exactly what you're getting into and what your clients need and want, it'll make the process go smoother, it won't take as much time, and your clients will thank you for that. So really get into what your clients are looking for. Number 2 is underperforming at the negotiation table. Now, let's be honest, you're being hired for a reason. That reason is to negotiate on behalf of your clients. So if you're not taking those extra steps when negotiating, you can potentially cost a deal for your clients, but you can also cost a lot of money for them. And as I spoke in a lot of other videos, depending on the market that you're in, sale prices nowadays are very high. It's not like it was 15 years ago and you were selling a $200,000 house. Most markets, we're talking about millions of dollars. And I think perfecting the craft of negotiation, and part of negotiation is getting the person at the other end of the table to like you. I think these are very undervalued prospects of what we do on a daily basis, and we can't forget about the art of negotiation. So sharpen your skills, your clients will thank you for it. Number 3, failure to communicate with clients. Now, when I sit down with clients for the first time, I'll typically ask them, are you the type of client that likes to get feedback after every showing? Or are you someone that says, contact me when something important happens? Now, depending on what kind of answer your clients give you is how you should react to it. I think a common mistake that people make notoriously is you get a listing, it goes to the market, and all of a sudden you don't have an offer for a few weeks, but you also haven't reached out to your client. It doesn't take much to send a simple text message or pick up the phone and let your clients know what's going on. Hey, we've had showings, the feedback hasn't been completely positive or it's been really positive. I think clients need to understand what exactly is going on. They want to be involved in the process. Ultimately, at the end of the day, they've hired you for a reason, so show them that you care. Make them involved in the process and just make them really understand what's going on. If you're able to provide feedback for your clients, I think it'll help you out whether you're negotiating a deal with them after or you're going for a price change, and nobody likes to talk about the price change, but if you're giving that valued information to your clients, they will thank you for it. It'll make your job easier. Trust me on that. Number 4, and it kind of plays off of number 3, it's the inability to get real with your clients. Everyone thinks that it's only good news that people want to hear, and it's so bad to provide negative feedback. Let me tell you something. When I sit down with my clients for the first time, I make them understand I am here to do a job, and that job is to keep it 100% real with you. There's going to be negative times in the listing. There's going to be positive times. There's going to be negative feedback. There's going to be positive feedback. You have to understand not to take things personal, and as a realtor, to actually let your clients know what's going on. Nobody likes to hear bad news, I can promise you that, but I think your clients will respect you for that and really understand that you are looking out for their best interests. If they're only getting good news with 0 results, they're going to say, hey, what's going on here? This doesn't make sense. You keep telling me everyone loves my house, but why don't I have an offer? But if you are telling them, hey, you know what, they're complaining that the bedrooms are a little bit too small or the yard is too small, I think letting them know what the actual truth is during the process will allow you to not only sell their property, but even if it takes a while, they'll put the trust in you to continue working with you. The 5th, and I think one of the more important things when you're a realtor, is learning to say no. And I'll tell you, early in my career, I was a yes man. Like most realtors are. You don't want to say no to people because you're afraid of losing business or you just think that it doesn't look good. But as you develop your real estate career and you start realizing that time is very important, the word no will be a lot easier to say. I've had situations in the past where I've walked away from $2, $3, $4 million listings because the clients simply weren't aligned with what I was telling them in the process. And you're sitting there saying, wow, if I walk away from this listing, it might cost me $50, $60, $70,000. That's a shit ton of money. But what you got to remember is if you say no and say, hey, unless we do things this way, I'm going to have to walk away, your clients will either A, respect you for it, or they're going to say he gave up. And I don't think that the people that say that you gave up, I don't think it's really going to be the people that you want to work with anyway. I had an example that I did this probably about 2 years ago. It was right before COVID hit. And I had clients, great people, beautiful house, invested $15,000 in staging in this property. But I had to walk away after 3 months because they kept wanting to raise the price on me. And I said, look, guys, this is where the price should be for this house. I'll work this till the day I sell it. I'll keep investing in this property for you throughout the whole process. But unless you start taking my advice, I simply gonna have to pull myself away. And ultimately I did. They did not want me to. They said, Mark, please, we want you to stay on board, but trust us. Ultimately, at the end of the day, I have to trust myself. You're coming to me because I'm the professional, and my gut feeling is always the feeling that I go off in this business. And if it's not something that can align with my clients, you have to walk away. With that story, they were on the market for an extra 1.5 years with the agent they hired after. So I sat there to myself and I said, was the value proposition of the money worth all the phone calls, every showing, talking for 20 minutes after about feedback? It simply wasn't. And for me, time is the most valuable thing I have left in this business, because as you get busier as a realtor, you'll notice that you don't really have much of it. And especially if you have a family back at home, you still want to be a family person while giving your clients 150%. Learn to say no. I promise you, you will learn that that's the right decision in the cases where your gut is telling you it's just not right. I want to thank you for watching this video, and as always, please follow us on all of our social media platforms. And if you're watching this on YouTube, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button, like this video, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video.